Hi everyone, my name is Neil. Welcome back to my channel. If you actually watch my videos, which not a lot of people do, then yeah, welcome back to my channel. As you guys might know that I don't really have a set pattern or type of videos I create. I just do and speak on whatever I want to. But I think for the past few days, I have been getting this question a lot, and that's something I was thinking about as well. That how do you express yourself in a world where everyday coherence is losing itself, right? You see people who are slaves of mimetic desires, and you see all of these patterns and personalities which are going shallower and shallower and shallower. And there are people who want to speak up, who have ideas, who have a lot of things inside of them, but they cannot express themselves. They cannot write well. They cannot, you know, any art form it may be. They cannot bring out the best of themselves. And I am no best in my field also, but I think this just came from observation and somewhat of an experience myself also. And yeah, this is just an advice. I don't even have a script. I'm I'm just speaking my head here. So if I'm you know saying something wrong, then please forgive me. But I think, yeah, let's just start off with the first thing, which is I think you gotta be cringe. Cringe is the new cool, as many people say. Not entirely, but I think you gotta be cringe at some point. And that comes from a person who was cringe for a long phase of his life. I think I might even be now, but I'm self aware now, so that cancels it out. But I think when I started out, at first I used to make comics as a kid, and that was around in and around the classroom. And then I started writing, and my earlier writings are how they are desperate and bad, to say the least. And I used to post them, and yeah, it was not so good back then, but still a few people actually still appreciated it back then. I think that was the early incentive I required. I also had a YouTube channel where I used to make dumb videos like everyone did, and I made a lot of those. It was called Lazy Bee. Anyone who's stuck around since then, that's some Neil lore. But yeah, and I also did a podcast. Also, if you know that, then you're a real one. That I actually had a podcast at one phase in my life. It used to come on Spotify and I had like 8, 9 episodes. I mean, yeah, I did all of that, and then then I started this blog, which is actually what I'm doing right now. I write here and there, and I think now I'm planning on my next step in my life, which is something even more bigger. But I think I could not have done that or come to this point where I'm writing this way without being that cringe or being, experimenting to that level and being so, out there. Because many people do experiment, but they keep it to themselves. But I think you just gotta go out there, and you'll always find people who will be, supportive of the hustle. Because even right now, whatever I'm writing, I don't have a huge audience. I don't even have an audience. I think there's just a few people who actually read it. My blog has a total reading number of I think near 4,000, and that's in his lifetime. That's like 1 year, and actually that's a lot for a kid who is just making comics. And people reach out to me nowadays, and that's why I think you should in any way or form you're expressing yourself or you're creating something, don't keep it to yourself. However bad it is, however unsure you are, just gotta publish it or keep it out there, because some people out there will support you, and when they support you, you'll get that incentive. Now the other thing is that how do you increase the quality of what you are creating? Because the first thing is you gotta be cringe, you gotta experiment, you find yourself, you find that niche. But then how do you express yourself in a way which is good, and how do you improve that quality over a long span of time nicely? And yeah, that's another question that I get asked a lot, is how do you write so well at such a young age? Now I'm not saying I'm a great writer. So of course, when I'm reading some of my favorite authors, some of my favorite writers, I'm like, they're like infinitely better than me. But whenever someone asks me how do I write the way I do, I think the one advice I think I give to anyone who does that is that you just got to respect yourself. And that means that surround yourself with good things. Because for me, I think art, any form of art, Nothing is original. Our brain subconsciously picks up ideas, motifs, and all of these from different places, and our mind it just shuffles them up and we create something new. But whatever we're creating is actually just our experiences coming in a new form, if you get what I mean. And I think in that sense, you need to surround yourself with things and consume things which are good, because only then you will be able to create something good. So that means, I think, reading, like people say you should read a book, and the person who hears that advice, he'll go to the bookstore and he'll buy any book and he'll read it, and he'll think that I need to read more books, so he'll buy more and more and more and more books, and he'll read any bullshit. And then what happens is what he creates will also be bullshit, whatever he speaks will also be bullshit. So that means that there needs to be a sense in you that you should read one book, if it that's what it is, but that book needs to be good. And which book is good or bad, that again comes from bullshit detecting system, which I've talked about in length before. Not in length, but I've talked about it. But to talk about it in short, it basically has a system in our brain which can detect opinions which and ideas which people say, and being able to detect it and just get rid of the bullshit. Because every day we hear thousands of opinions, thousands of stories, but your brain needs to not waste time and energy on bullshit. So bullshit detecting system, and that way everyone can have their own sense of bullshit detecting system. But with time, you'll just improve that system. So yeah, the first thing is like I gave you an example of books. Other examples would be shows and movies, and also people. So yeah, I think you should surround yourself with good people who are positive, radical, but also very honest to you. And I think when you surround yourself with those kind of people, you will hear stories, you'll hear instances, and you hear perspectives which will help you create better work. And also music, I think music is also a very underrated art form, I'd say. But I think music plays a very very important part. And yeah, in my growth as an artist, music has been very very essential. I think a lot of what I write, a lot of what I create is very very inspired by music. So you should listen to good music. And what is good music? Again, you need to have your own bullshit eating system. And yeah, I think my music taste also changed with time. And a most influential part of that change was people, because every new person I met, they had their own kind of music taste. And slowly, like, you just your music taste starts to become a blend of everything that you've experienced. And music is just a revolutionizer. And I think, yeah, that's to sum it up, that if you want to be someone who is able to express themselves, or you want to be someone not shallow, I think you need to be cringe. And why cringe? Why do I say cringe? Is because when people are going out there and expressing themselves, a lot of people tag that as cringe. That does not mean that it is cringe, but in that sense, even if it is cringe, and even if the general people consider it cringe, you just still let them define it as cringe and stay that way, because that might not be very cringe. And yeah, so the first thing is just you gotta experiment, and you gotta go out there and you gotta show yourself. And even though it's scary or getting criticism, I think you'll always get support. People out there are there. The world is still good enough for artists to come up. And the second part is consume good things, surround yourself with good people. And this just not does not only go to artists and people who are creating something, but also to normal people. If you want to be someone or do something, you just got to be able to be yourself without be feeling that, what if I'm being cringe?" And I talked about a lot of things in very briefly, like mimetic desires. And these are topics you can go in length on, and there are philosophies backing it. But with the time I had, I tried to put it out very clearly, though I might not have been so efficient in it. But yeah, this was my try. I hope you guys are well. And yeah, my exams are coming up. I'm thinking of making a video predicting my exams with my uh, friend. So yeah, if that works, I might post one. But let's see. I'm not a very smart student, so Yeah, take care. Until next time. Until next time, I get a random urge to make a YouTube video. You guys got to chill out.